Alright people, welcome to episode 4 of Carthritis. This one is called The Reverence. Again, the running theme, this will become apparent to sharp minds, perhaps. Right, so let me just start going around the room with the introductions. And today I want you to recommend one ongoing piece of entertainment, like a TV show or a podcast or something.
Right, okay then, I'll start. Hello, my name is Clark, aka Zarkov. One or the other. I can't really recommend anything at the moment. You've really put me on the spot.
Yeah.
The only one I can recommend, I guess, any TV show which I've been currently watching in the recent past, I'd recommend Narcos, if no one's seen it. Watch it. It's all about Pablo Escobar shooting crims and all sorts and drugs and things. Really good. I really like it.
That's a great show indeed.
The first season is brilliant. The second is...
The two first seasons are brilliant.
Second is good too.
Yeah.
The third I haven't seen more than a couple episodes.
There's a third series? How much I've been watching it. Oh, right, okay. Oh, no, I have seen the third one, yeah. It's good.
All right. Cool. My name's Sargoth, and I am gonna take this moment to recommend a podcast called Waking Up with Sam Harris. It is by far my favorite thing to listen to. No idea how to describe it. It's a mix of religion and AI and philosophy, and just it goes through a lot of topics that you don't think you care about, and by the end of the show, that's all you care about. Yeah, brilliant.
I didn't know we could do podcasts, because I'd recommend the one I'm listening to right now.
Well, I tried to preface this with the podcast or TV show, for instance, but yeah, go ahead, Clark.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Well, I just started listening to Hardcore Histories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really good. And it's all about World War One. I'm going with at the moment. It's really good. I get to listen to how France surrenders all the time.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Are you biting your tongue there, Antistar?
Choosing not to listen.
I think our guest just left the program.
No, I'm still there.
All right, I'm KVD, and I would really recommend The Expanse. It's a new science fiction show.
Oh, really?
And it's about, it's set a few hundred years in the future. And humanity at that point has colonized the entire solar system, and there's like different fractions, like humans colonize Mars, but they have become independent of what happens on Earth, and they're also colonizing the asteroid belt, where a lot of valuable material or supplies and whatnot. I lack the word right now, but so that's like a political thing going on between Mars and Earth, fighting for control of the asteroid belt, and it's really nicely done. Very high production values. It's I think it's like the Game of Thrones of sci-fi at the moment. So I would really recommend it.
I've seen 5 or 6 episodes, and I did find the production value to be high, but I found the story a bit lacking. Was I in the wrong there?
Eventually, it picks up. It takes a while to get into, but once you're like at the end of season 1, it starts to really get going. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But I had the same impression the first few episodes, I have to say.
Okay, so I guess based on your recommendation, I'll pick that back up, because I did enjoy it in some way.
Definitely would, and there's a very, very strong actress called Shore Agdashlu or something, or however you pronounce that.
Bless you.
And she
That
plays
was very
the.
sexy.
Yeah. You know who it is?
No, I just say the name, and then the way you pronounced it was very sexy.
She's like an older woman, but she's still.
So she's Zarko's type, actually.
I'm only holds a goal for me.
I still remember how old was the oldest girl, sorry, you had sex with Zarkov. Remember when you said it on the message board?
I can't remember now. That must have been a long time ago.
She was something like 57 or 58.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
beats
tried
my
it, you
PR.
tried it on the MB.
I bet she still had a spring in her step, Clark.
She hadn't quite retired yet.
You may not
Yeah.
beat my SMK PR, Sarkov, but that beats my PR.
I'm pretty sure this is some kind of PR you're not in a hurry to beat at all.
Well, I'm sure I'll beat it when I get to that age.
Yeah, I'm about to say we'll all beat it eventually.
Yeah.
I believe we're digressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes to me, I think, right?
Yep.
So I'm Antistar. Some of you might know me as Mario86, but this is a topic we're going to discuss afterwards. And if I understood it well, I have to recommend something too. And I'm going to recommend a Netflix TV show I've been watching, and I've even binge watched, like we used to say recently, which is How to Get Away with Murder. This is some kind of drama series based on the Lawyer and Trials universe. Actually, my girlfriend recommended it to me, so she made me start it over with her to see the first season, and I actually watched the 3 seasons in less than 1 week because it was really, really, really addictive, and this is something I would recommend a lot. I think I maybe talked about it on the message board, not really sure, but if you haven't watched it and if you're interested in that kind of lawyer stories, give it a try. Ready.
So let me just, is this a true crime story type deal, or is it...
Well, it's about a teacher, actually, at the Philadelphia University, who's dealing with murder stories with a selection of students. She's trying to make... she's actually trying to make them the future lawyers, and all of them are part of big murder plot, and this is the basic story.
All right.
It's been recommended to me a few times already, so I should probably also watch that. But the list of what shows I have to watch is quite extensive.
Absolutely. Yeah, give it a try, because like most of the successful series, of course, season 1 is excellent, but a lot of series start to decrease in quality in seasons 2 and 3. And actually, all the first seasons are of equal quality, according to me. And there's a 4th season, actually, which is I think it's over, and I'm waiting for Netflix to put it online, because I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. It's really thrilling.
Oh, cool.
There's probably a little footnote I should add to the recommendation I made. The Expanse may or may not get cancelled. So it's like hanging in the balance right now, I believe. So there's now currently 3 seasons, but not sure what's going to happen. So
I quite like that, to be honest, because I always find that when a TV show is ongoing, I lose interest because I can't be bothered waiting for the new series. So if something comes to the end, I know I can just watch it all the way to the end. I kind of prefer that.
That's funny. You're like a series vulture. You watch it when it dies.
I share that sentiment to some degree.
Yeah.
I've actually watched The Office now for the first time in my life. I haven't seen an episode before.
The Ricky Gervais one?
No, I have that on the standby. I watched the other one first.
Okay. How are you not watching that one first?
Do it.
Are you mad?
I didn't have what's it called? Access to it, but now I found it in a store and bought it. I'm just finishing up the other piece of shit. It was fun for a while, but the last 5 seasons have been pretty trash.
Ricky Gervais is much better.
Yeah, and it's also only 2 seasons.
Yeah, okay.
So well, if you're watching the Ricky Gervais Office, you have to follow it up with watching Extras as well, which I think is
true.
His best work. It's brilliant.
Okay. I'll listen to you this once, Clark. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll do for the introduction. So let's get on to the news. Starting with old tried and true SMK.
Right. Is there any news?
Are we really gonna talk about this fucking bad game? Seriously?
Well, yeah, that's sort of the gist of this show.
This is not why I came here. I went there to play to talk about Mario Kart Double Dash actually.
Well, your princess is in another castle. You won't find it here. Not this time. There's some news about CDM, right?
There is the news that Matt Ballar is now officially signed up, and also 2 new German players, Patrick Oswald and Simon Mahler.
All right.
And other than that, I don't. And Aaron is actually on the pre-sign-up list.
Oh,
so
seriously?
That is news, I guess.
And who's gonna pay for him this year?
Yeah, that's.
Is he not going to come or something? Like, how is this news, or is it just because it's Aaron and everything's last minute?
Yeah. Well, even that is not news. It would be news if he wasn't last minute. I actually. Person paying for it remains to be determined, but it might be me.
Wait, hold on.
I just checked the list. So Marius are just gonna play time trial and not the multiplayer mods.
I don't know the answer to this. I've barely played kart the last 8 years. I've played like once a week from like a month now. Well, a bit more maybe.
Or maybe it's also for live stream purposes, I think.
Yeah, but I've been back and forth as to what I'll play at the CDM, but I think I'm happy playing casuals. I do like me some battle mode though, or used to.
Why?
I think you would enjoy joining battle mode.
Anyway, it's a great thing because he's the first Norwegian player attending CDM.
And last.
First and last. Who knows?
But do you know that his official role will be to...
Who actually thought we could get a Greek player once? And this happened, so...
Yeah, battle mode specialist who lost 4-0 to Mol in battle mode, as he always likes.
Right, yeah. That's a rough debut.
He's still the Greek champion.
Yeah.
Who said he was a specialist in the first place?
I don't know.
Sammy, maybe.
I think it's just the fact that he only joined battle mode, even though he was there for like a couple of days. That basically made Mol think he was a battle mode specialist. Maybe? I don't know.
I'm sure Sami said it somewhere along the line.
Oh yeah, well Sami makes it maybe he had to make a t-shirt out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, for Sammy, you have to be a specialist of something. Even if you're the last, you're a specialist of... You're the specialist of losers, actually, but you're still a specialist of something.
Yeah, like Camille Battier.
Yeah, giving a specialist.
Exactly. Nailed it.
I love Camille Battier.
But what kind of specialist? What kind of specialist can Zarkov be, actually?
Clark Shell specialist.
Clark Shell specialist, sexy specialist.
No, the pink shells.
Squirrel King is the maker of Clark juice.
Well, yeah.
All manner of things. But I remember back in 2011 talking about Camille, and I played him at GP, and he missed the zoom start, and he didn't get angry. He just put the controller on the floor.
Oh, I remember this.
I'm not playing. And he just sat there and watched me finish. And then that was it. He didn't play anymore. He just put it on the floor.
So he is a give-up specialist.
You actually played against loser at that moment.
Nice, yeah. But it was just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, who is this guy? And then someone told me he's a give-up specialist.
So I have a little story that ties into that. Because Lafango, his controller, is actually inherited from Camillo. Because Camillo said after one CDM, this last CDM, I don't know which year it was. I think 2012.
2012, of course.
Yeah.
This was the first one Lafango came,
exactly.
And this was the last one we saw Camillo.
And Camillo was like completely fed up with it. He said, I'm never gonna play this game again. And then Lafango said, was still searching for a Pro MBT controller.
He got drunk as hell that night, remember? There was a video of it.
Yep. And Camillo was like, he picked up on this conversation they were having, and he said, "Yeah, if you can find my controller somewhere, you can have it, because I'm not gonna even look for it. But just if you can find it, it's yours." And sure enough,
Aaron for one night.
that's the controller he's still using now, Lafango. So
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. I
That's
didn't
a
know
nice
that.
story.
Hold on, is that the
Well,
controller you
Lafando.
played with last week, Carol? That was actually good.
Yeah, as it happens, I also used it for a little bit because my controller kind of gave up on me. And Lafan goes on holiday, so I figured I would use his controller instead.
So you're clinging on to the scraps of Camille then?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Well, I've been known to have some rage quits too.
We all have.
Not in CDM.
No, true.
Well, maybe your skills actually rage quitted, but not you.
Yeah, sensitive subject.
Just say there's been some hilarious rage quits at the CDM. I think one year when I wasn't there, I think it was 2013, and I hadn't watched any of the stream before, and I turned on the stream, and the first thing I see is Tiff just slamming his controller in anger and walking off, and then apparently that was it. He just left something for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and
Brilliant.
later he claimed it was because he had a migraine, but yeah.
All right. I thought this is entertaining stuff when I'm just tuning in and seeing rage quit.
So, what else is on the table, Sargoth?
Well, just to go back a bit and answer Antistar's question, I am mostly going to be commentating during CDM.
Yeah.
That was the initial question 9 minutes ago.
Yes, that's true. You have a good memory.
Anyway, there were some talks about some SNES pads as well, Carol?
You mean the SNES input signal thingies?
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well-
yeah. Okay, so just explain what they are and make everyone hype. Oh, there's
Yeah,
a word again. It gives me a bad, foul taste these days.
Oh, hype, you mean?
Yeah, thank you, GDQs.
Yeah, it's besmirched. So, like most Mario 64 streamers have this, for example, and most really big streamers that are into speedrunning typically have a controller in the stream layout, and then you can live follow which buttons are being pressed as it happens. So what happens then is that they have an input adapter, so the controller is plugged into that, and then there is into the splitter, and there's one signal going into the console, and the other is feeding into your PC. And there's a little software program being ran that reads your inputs and displays them on that layout in your stream. And this also exists for Super Nintendo. I think Void is using it, for example, or at least some of the DKC runners are using it.
Yep.
And this week, Scoop ordered 2 of these thingies, one for him and one for me. So that's going to be a new addition to our streams sometime soon.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. So it was funny when I was chatting to Scoop about this. Like, it's going to be interesting to see, for example, what type of inputs Scoop does at the MC2 long boost, because he doesn't even really know himself what he's doing. And the other thing that we instantly both thought of is, like, we would love to see what Sami does at the final flat boost of MC1, but he's never gonna do this, of course.
Right.
We'll keep that a secret.
Yep. But that flat boost has never been replicated by anyone else. So
I think this would be interesting too, when you, Carol, have lightning and to show how you press A to master it.
I'd love to see that as well.
I have actually even failed to do that once.
I remember.
Yes, you do remember. It was at the NLG Mini, right? Against Aaron.
Yeah, against Aaron, of course.
Yeah. Will you tell the story? Because I'm a bit embarrassed.
I didn't think I would see someone failing at using a lightning, actually.
You underestimated me, pal.
Yeah. Carol was playing mattress against Aaron, and of course he was second. He got a lightning. It was in Kupovic too, if I'm correct.
Yes,
and,
it was.
Carol wasn't using his lightning. Of course, Aaron made a mistake, so Carol went first. Still had his lightning. Aaron got a ghost, and for some reason, Carol didn't use the lightning. So Aaron stole it.
You're not telling the full story. There's a little detail that actually made me not use the lightning the moment Aaron picked up the ghost, and that's because there is an offbeat item pickup on Cooper Beach 2 in the middle of the ocean, like on the not the middle of the ocean, but it's like after the item pickup zone. There's this little item on the right, and Aaron picked that one up, and I was not paying attention enough.
Yeah.
so that's what happened.
So your excuse is I wasn't paying attention. Why I had the lightning?
Yes.
So this is an asshole excuse.
Yes.
Seriously.
I still felt I had to make it. Just digging myself a deeper hole, man. Help me out.
Yeah, you're making it worse.
Yeah, let's carry on.
Nice.
All right, I think that's it for SMK.
Thanks.
Yeah, except we're gonna do an interview with you, Antistar, which is only SMK questions.
Oh, damn it. No, I'll do my best.
Okay, so MK64 then. I think we had 4 world records this week, which is above average for MK64 these days.
Definitely.
Where'd you find out about all of these world records?
Well, there's this place called MarioKart64.com, Clark. You may have heard of it.
Yeah, I didn't know they still did updates on there. I thought it died.
Yeah, no, it's still Kyle and Darius, I believe.
Oh, cool. I shall be sure to go and have a look.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will at some point.
Next year, maybe.
So I'm not entirely sure about the order, but I think the first was Daniel Burbank, tied the world record for Bolster Castle Flap.
That's correct.
Which was the oldest world record. It kind of still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while he did that, Matthias Rustemeyer got a new, like the third in a row, improvement on Kalimari Desert Flap.
He wants to sub, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
So his previous time was 04, and then he got 03 like a couple of weeks back, and now this was 01, was it?
Yep. That's correct.
So I guess he'll eventually get there. And then Daniel Burbank hit the world record for Bolster Castle 3 lap, which cleanly took a number away from Matthias's total world record tally.
Yeah, back to 29.
Back to 29. And
wow.
And Matthias did not, surprise anyone, so he went ahead and took it back.
Of course.
No surprise there. By a couple of hundreds?
Yeah, he took it back as all I know.
Yeah, very small margin, and the laps are like all over the place in MK64, so much more than SMK. Oops, there's that game again. So one of
can I just ask to other people in the group here, Clark and Antistar, do you like MK64?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I wish I could play it better, actually. This is a game I would like to be a bit more competitive at, just to attend the Mario Kart 64 Mate ones.
Oh, wow.
And,
cool.
And win one race against David Moore.
Well, you don't have to...
But no, this is actually one of my favorite Mario Kart games. I almost never talk about it, but I find it better than Double Dash, of course. Better than Mario Kart DS, better than Mario Kart 7, I think. And it's just, I find it very, very difficult to master nowadays.
Yeah, we agree on most things, I think, Antistar, and that's another thing.
As usual.
Yeah. MK64 is, Zarkov apparently doesn't agree.
No, well, I'm not a huge fan of playing it. I don't mind watching it. It's quite cool to watch it on stream, but as far as playing it goes, I've never enjoyed it. Maybe that's because I didn't play Super Mario 64. I should have played that as well. But no, I mean, my opinion personally, when it comes to good Mario Karts, and this is going to be hugely controversial, is Super Mario Kart, and then Mario Kart 8. I like that. I think it's a really good one.
No. I think you're right. I also love Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I think it's a great game, and my favourite aside from SMK.
Wow, high praise.
Yeah.
It's better than all the previous modern ones. I will agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean...
Have you played MK8, Sargoth?
No, I have not. Should I?
Ah, well. Yeah, well, if you're finished with Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, then you
Yeah.
probably should.
I am, but I'm being talked into by the wrench mother to get something called Captain Toad the Treasure Tracker.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's a good game. You should play
That's a
that
good
game.
game, but okay, I think now that we have Antistar in this, happen to have him in this conversation, I think he can beautifully explain why you should play more Breath of the Wild after finishing Just Ganon.
Oh, I could talk about Breath of the Wild for probably 420 hours. So.
Here we go.
What do you want me to talk about Breath of the Wild? Because there are so many things.
No, but why is it worth it?
Yeah, that's the only
briefly
question.
summarize why it's worth it to play it more than just completing Ganon.
I think Breath of the Wild just makes the whole Zelda series restart from scratch. This is just like you started the first Zelda on NES 30 years ago, but with the current technology. So you start with a big landscape just around you, with almost nothing clear to do. Actually, you just have to walk and discover the world around you.
This is why I found it such a bad game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is my unpopular opinion again. But I played it for ages, and I was just walking around for ages, not doing anything. I didn't know what was going on. And I just got bored.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to do, and I agree that everything is not really clear at the first. But fighting against Ganon, of course, this is the... I'm not gonna say this is the end of the game, because there are so many things to do after you beat Ganon. But when you start the game, you don't even think about fighting Ganon, because you just realize you are free to do anything you want, just like you could never do in any previous Zelda episode. So, of course, defeating Ganon, defeating the forces of evil is the main thing you have to do in the end. But Breath of the Wild is all about discovering, exploring, getting extra challenges you never had to face in the previous episodes. It's really a new vision of the Zelda series. Of course, not everyone is gonna love it, but to be very, I don't know if the word objective exists in English to say this, but it does. Okay, but to be objective, it's really one of the greatest games ever. Of course, some people might not like it, but
I want to like it, and I've played it for a while, and I do plan on giving it another go. But
you play it on Switch or on Wii U?
On Switch.
Okay, yeah, it's even better on Switch. Of course, everyone has his own experience on the game, but just to give my personal experience of it, when I bought my Switch, I booked 2 weeks of holidays just when Breath of the Wild was released, because I was sure it would probably take 2 weeks for me to enjoy the whole thing and probably complete the game, which actually didn't even happen, because 180 hours after, my completion rate was something like 42% or something like this. And yeah, and my first day of playing was like, I put myself on the sofa, I start the game, I discover everything, I don't see the hours passing by, and well, it's something like 11 p.m. I'm tired, and I say to myself, but I can go to bed with the Switch and play with my headphones. And so I played until the battery went down. And this is something this is something that I would ever not. I probably never did this with SNK. I think my longest supermarket session ever was something like perhaps 7 or 8 hours. In Breath of the Wild, I had 14 hours one.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
session.
Yeah. And I remember talking to you about this last CDM, and you told me that there was one person you know that played even more than you.
About Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom.
Wow.
Yeah,
that cracked me up. It's pretty crazy.
And she's not, and this is a very interesting point, because she's not really into Zelda games. She's a gamer, actually. She loves video games, but Zelda was not really her type of game. But this one was so different from the previous ones, and looked like the modern adventure or even RPG games. She's a big Assassin's Creed fan, for example, and this kind of open world game where you have a very, very big map at the beginning where you can visit almost everything from the start is a completely new experience that can make anyone who doesn't like Zelda, for example, enjoying this one, not because this is Zelda and because you have some elements that are typical of the series, but just because this is an outstanding adventure game. Because when you're starting this adventure and when you really feel inside of it, you just can't get out of it. This is it.
I think it also really depends on the expectations you have going into the game. If you're expecting like a normal-ish Zelda game, then you will probably be disappointed in the beginning.
Completely.
But if you are completely, I know, for example, from a friend of mine, his girlfriend has almost never played video games, but she's already pouring hundreds of hours into this too. And he says, I don't even like the game that much, but she's just walking around. That's all she's doing. And that's something you could only do when you're not really,
Indeed.
Typically, if you're not really a typical gamer, then that sort of thing can really appeal to you instantly. Whereas for someone like me, I need to train myself to not think of it as a normal video game, and then I can really enjoy it. That's what you need to try if you want to enjoy it to the fullest, I think, yeah.
The only bad point with Breath of the Wild is we'll never have the actual Zelda game everyone was dreaming about when the Wii U was released, which was a full HD Zelda game like Twilight Princess, but with the graphics of, let's say Final Fantasy 15, something like this. Everyone was expecting a more adult and high-definition game. And Nintendo's not really caring about being that strong in terms of graphics or stuff like that. And I really think that Twilight Princess is gonna stay the most beautiful Zelda game ever for a very, very long time, I think.
They still have some loose ends to improve.
but Breath of the Wild is beautiful, actually. It's just it's probably not what everyone was expected from a 2017 console game, of course, but it's still very, very, very beautiful. And the map is so huge; it's impossible to have something which can be as beautiful as a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One game with such a big map. It's impossible.
True.
And you can just think about this game on a portable console. Actually, you take the Switch everywhere you want, and you have this big, insane, endless world in your fucking hands everywhere you want. This is something you absolutely never experienced before.
Yeah, you could even play it whilst sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, of course.
That's a big deal. It's a game changer.
How many hours do you spend on the toilet every day?
Yeah, many. Really?
I thought you were of the speed shitting inclination, Clark.
No, but sometimes I just like sitting on it.
I remember the essays on speed shooting and its benefits.
Yeah, that's
one of the finest topics ever. I should bump it.
Absolutely, it was one of the finest message board posts ever posted.
And I won't dump it.
Thank you, man. High praise. Yeah, I've slowed down in my old age, though. That was when I was a young 20-something.
I'm very searching for speed cheating on the MB message board.
So, Sargat, is there any way we can get the show back on the rails?
Well,
do you want to talk about, while Mario is searching the message board, talk about the Midwest Speed Fest, Sargat? Because I saw a link posted by Dan, but I can't access it. But maybe you know something a little more about it.
The Midwest Speed Fest was something I looked into last week, and it looked like a very interesting little speed marathon. It's 3 days or whatever. And it had one of the most refreshing lineups I've seen in a long time. And our guest from episode 0 is going to be playing Super Mario Kart there, correct?
That is correct, but I don't, because I can't access the link, I don't know when it is exactly.
I found an excellent post by yours, Carol.
I found it. He's going to do an All Cups SMK run at the Midwest Speed Fest at the 5th of August, about noon CDT, whatever that converts to in our time, I don't know.
Yeah,
But the 5th of August, so we haven't missed it yet.
No, right. So I found it. It starts on Friday, the 3rd of August, which happens to crash a bit with Evo. So I'm gonna be missing out a lot of this, sadly. I just realized.
Well, Evo is a must-watch. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So I found the list of games. I'll just link that so we can put some reactions in here.
Reverse boss order on Zelda's Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
That's one of your favorite games, right, Antistar?
Mm-hmm. My favorite game, indeed.
Your favorite game, your very favorite game.
Yeah, this is number 1 in my heart. Yoshi's
Wow.
is number 2, and Link's Awakening is number 1.
Wow.
This has remained undisputed for 7 years now.
What would your favourite game be, Carol?
Well, I've typically always answered this with Ocarina of Time, but
So easy.
yeah, but in the end, I think if I'm being completely honest with myself, it has to be Super Mario Kart
Oh, fair enough.
because it works so well as a game. Like when you're playing against other people or with other people.
This is terrible because everyone think that Super Mario Kart is my favorite game ever, and of course this is the game I've played the most, and of course this is the game I've probably know the most of all. But I don't think it should be regarded as the favorite game when you don't have a personal and totally individual experience of it. Super Mario Kart doesn't really tell anything. There is no story behind it, and all the experience I have from it is made of all the people around. Actually, even when you play in time trial, it's just to compare yourself to other guys.
Yes.
And of course, you learn a lot about yourself when it comes to motivation, perseverance, your own skills. But I think Super Mario Kart, it just lacks something which any racing game cannot have. And any kind of adventure game might be my favorite game ever, but a racing game just cannot. It's probably my third best game ever, but it will never be my favorite one. And it will be too logical and too obvious to anyone. So I have to find something a bit more surprising for people who just associate me to Mario Kart.
Yeah, it is. I mean, anyone who knows me as well, like you guys must get this as well. You have all the people outside of the Mario Kart sphere.
Yeah, defo.
Yeah, and they just assume you're just the world's best just because you're really good, even if you're not. And they all just assume your favourite game is Super Mario Kart, and it isn't for me. My
What
favourite
is?
game would
You Scarmageddon, right?
no, that's close. That would be certainly top 5. My favourite game would be Tetris, I think.
Oh,
Easy one.
good shout.
Yeah.
Which one?
love it.
The original one on Game Boy?
Yeah, Game Boy one. The Game Boy one. Yeah.
So you and me have an original black and white Game Boy game as favorite game ever.
Nice. Well, what would yours be? Super Mario Land 6 Golden Coins?
Oh, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Oh, I thought that was the SNES one. No, that's a Link to the Past, isn't it? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which is a great game too. This was actually my favorite one before I realized that Link's Awakening was better on all points.
Oh, fair enough. So Game Boy reigning supreme with us then.
Yeah, being black and white is better than being in color.
Green and black rather than...
I think there's
Piece yellowish and black.
I think there's several angles that you can approach this question. Even like, do you rate it your favorite game as your best experience, or as a game as itself, or
I think you have to.
My first impression, my most memorable impression of a video game was Mario 64, for example. My favorite experience playing a game was Ocarina of Time, but my favorite game is Super Mario Kart.
I think this has to be a combination of a lot of different a lot of different elements. Your personal experience of it, the first contact you have with the game, the way you would rate it as if you were a video game journalist, for example, and all the different elements, like music, gameplay, challenge, level design, etc. You have to rate a lot of things to describe which game might be the best of all, just because it's perfect on almost every point. Most of the games you loved all have weak points or something, and I don't think, from a point of view, Link's Awakening has any weak point.
I think some people would argue its weak point is the fact that it's on a Game Boy.
This is actually where I think the game is so strong, because of course it's a black and white game on Game Boy, and it's a game which shows so many strengths in terms of level design, in terms of gameplay, in terms of global intelligence of gaming, plus the music, the complete music of the game is, well, I'm not gonna talk a lot about Link's Awakening because this is gonna keep me up all night long. If you can read French, just read my fucking review. If you cannot read French, translate it. I'm explaining why I find this game to be the best I've ever played, in a very, very, very long story, I have to admit it. But if you can find something to translate it, well, I won't say it's worth the read, because this would be a bit pretentious, but give it a try.
Well, at least we'll link that article in the YouTube descriptions.
I mean, I've tried using Google Translate a lot, and I use it on the French MB a lot, on the French message board. And the thing which always gets me, I don't know why, you guys have never explained it to me, but whenever you're talking about the CDM on there, and I translate it into English, you're always talking about chicken. It's always talking about chickens. It's just every other word, it's just like we're talking about the chickens, this chicken, and I don't understand. What the fuck?
I should make some effort and try to translate some of my reviews, but the problem is that there is some magic with the only English review I've ever written in my whole life. I reviewed Hannah Montana the movie, the game, in English, and
great game.
I really want to keep this as my only English review ever.
I think one of my fondest gaming memories is playing it at Sami's house. And you had myself, you had William Lacey, at the time #2 in Mario Kart 64.
I ordered a copy of that shit for you, right?
Yeah, you did. It was from you. That's the reason I had this game. But we're all sitting there, these legends of the gaming world laying there. You've got Stephen Swarties there. Swarties, whatever how you say it's Dutch name.
And you probably don't know this, Clark, but when I ordered the game on eBay, I just had to leave a feedback, of course, for the seller, and I wrote something like "Thanks a lot," and I just put a signature, Chris Clark, the man from Watford, in the eBay feedback, actually.
Oh, nice. Someone thinks, I know. Well, most people think I'm weird anyway, but yeah. Anyway, so we're just sitting there with all these guys. Patrick was there. Patrick was there too.
MJ,
was there.
Right?
MJ, myself, and we're all trying to. Gaff was there as well, weirdly.
Garth and Lindsay were there too.
Yeah, that's it. And just all these people watching it, and then Sami, I think at the time there was a SMK tournament going on, and it was the final, and more people were watching us play Hannah Montana the movie, the game, and trying to beat this stupid bottle toss game than was watching the final. And there's just this big cheer going up. It was brilliant fun. But yeah, when we finished it, excellent game. I still managed to get the 1,000 Gs on the 1,000 achievement points on the Xbox at the time.
Yeah, but that was a funny game. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all to own a PS3 copy and try to go for the platinum trophy on it, because it was not a bad experience at all.
Yeah, no.
I've played much worse PS3 games than this one.
I think we've somehow managed to digress from the Midwest Speed Fest to Hannah Montana the game.
Sorry.
But just before we go back
is from the Midwest. So
just before we go back to the topic, I'm briefly wondering what Sargon's favorite game of all time is.
It is arbitrary. Yeah, you wouldn't need
What console is that on? What console is that on? I ain't heard of that game.
All right. Well, yeah, it's like what you said, Carol. You have to put different criterias and whatever. I would just. But yeah, for me it was Link to the Past, I guess.
That's a nice choice.
I guess I'll
long story.
evolve further and then embrace the black and white lesser version later on in life.
Turns out we're all Nintendo fanboys. So, but what's new?
So yeah, the Midwest Speed Fest next weekend, and it supports the SAFE, which is a suicide prevention charity. So be sure to check it out if you can. And our own boy Dan H, or sorry, Dan_H, is going to be playing SMK there. So let's show him some support.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
Nice, go Dan. We love Dan.
Yeah, so
We do.
let's just quickly shout out some of the other games that are getting played there as well.
Yeah.
So the first one is Link's Awakening Reverse Boss Order 100%. That one sticks out to me. Metal Slug Race. I love the Metal Slug games.
Really hard games. I've tried playing those before, and I've not any good at them.
Well, they are coin catchers, to put it in a way.
Yeah.
They're designed to swallow your coins, so they do that.
Very well.
There's Rayman Legends. I gotta give a very small shout out to this game. I've played it a bit, and it is one hell of a platformer. It's
Really good game that was. I loved playing that game.
yeah, it's reminiscent of the old Donkey Kong Country games. Maybe a bit evolved, more gimmicks, but it's fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very.
Really good game.
Let's see, Wind Waker All Dungeons %, which is a decent way of playing it. Odyssey any % on hour 20, which sounds wrong when you just play the game once casually.
It sure does.
You got some Bioshock, you got Resident Evil 7, which I really enjoyed somehow. I think that was a great Resident Evil reboot game. Super Metroid Arrival. Anyone know anything about this? You know, you remember Sweet Numb, Carol?
Yeah.
You played during some NLG minutes or something?
Yeah, and at HDQ.
Right.
Super Metroid, yeah.
He's currently playing a game called Super Metroid Arcade,
Okay.
which is like a ROM hack that enhances the game in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, after every boss, the game will state whether or not you took damage during the boss. And it keeps track of all this kind of how much damage you take, how many spikes you hit, how many enemies you kill. So it opens up a whole new plethora of categories for what I dub one of the greatest speedrunning games of all time.
That's really cool, yeah.
So that's what he's doing these days. But back to the Speedfest. The last day ends with Portal 2, which I love me some Portal speedruns too. Super Mario Kart is the third to last game with our Dan__H guy. And finishing off is Earthbound, which is brilliant.
Agreed.
Oh, you played it?
I've seen it.
Yeah, well,
I got it, and guess who gave the game to me?
Banana Man.
No, Nicholas Harvey.
What?
wait.
Yep. I actually own a game Nicholas Harvey owned before me, and he sent it to me.
I
That
could have been guessing for like
Oh,
weeks before
yeah,
I came
yeah.
up with Nicholas Harvey.
that is going to be the most surprising shout out on Card Rider so far.
Shout out to Harvey.
All right, we did it.
And I also have a handwritten note of Harvey close to the game. I should show it someday.
Do you have it framed on the wall?
No, it was just like having a poster of Jesus Christ on my walls, so no.
Did the note say anything about the Rapture?
No, but I remember him saying, because it was part of a deal, actually, he sent his US SNES to FF6 Man to have it modded. And since I was the guy taking care of getting his parcel and sending it back, he decided to make a gift to me, and he knew I wanted to play Earthbound, which was a hard to find game, so he decided to give me his own copy of the game. And on the handwritten note, he said something like, I was praying all day long to make sure the SNES would arrive to you safely. So he's mentioning praying Jesus in his note.
Yeah, I must admit, I've also received a parcel from Harvey.
What is this?
I'm missing
I'm
out.
not lying. Yeah, I know. Like you know how I collect bottle caps.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me some. I think it was about a year and a half ago, and that once again had a handwritten note in it. It went on for ages, talking about each particular one and where he got each one from. It rambled on a bit, to be honest.
Did you read it?
Skimmed it?
Yeah.
No, I skimmed it over. But yeah, so I've got loads of his. Well, I said loads. There was about sort of 10 or so which I needed, which are in the in my collection now because of Harvey.
All right.
That's enough
Just
about
a man
Harvey.
who-
Right?
Yeah, that'll do.
The man who keeps on giving.
One last thing about Earthbound. It's actually a race.
Oh yeah.
That's cool, and it's a pajama percent. I don't know what that is. It's you don't upgrade your weapons. I don't know. Weapons you have to upgrade, I guess.
So the game is a race.
The
I
stream
didn't
is
know
a
that.
race.
Well, the stream, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played Earthbound.
It's a very it's a very standard RPG, like the Pokemon games or something like that, or the old Final Fantasies.
Right. Okay.
But it's chock full of humor, which sets it apart. All right.
Just like this show.
Yeah. So that's what happens next weekend, the Midwest Speed Fest. All right. And this weekend, there's the ESA. I think it's coming to a close soon, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're a bit late on announcing that. 'Cause I should have done that last show.
Yeah, I've missed like pretty much all of it, but I have seen the crazy feat that the Mexican runner pulled off.
Yep.
The blindfolded Battletoads turbo tunnel thing.
What the hell
It's
is that?
completely crazy.
Yeah.
So he pulled a bag over his head and just finished something that is even hard to do when you're looking and have trained.
No handkerchief strats?
Well, doesn't look like it. It sure looks legit.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. But I don't know anything else about ESA, sorry to say.
No, sadly, I haven't watched any either. I used to pay pretty close attention to ESA. They started the same year we did NLG 12.
Yeah.
And they kept going unlike us.
Mm-hmm.
But we've sort of been on terms with them, and you've been there a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been there 3 times, or more like 2.5.
That's
Once was only for a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was also a crazy story actually. Patrick, Zotan, an English speedrunner, and me did a 3-way co-op Grand Theft Auto 5 completion.
Ah, yeah.
And that was added to the schedule last minute. And I was only gonna be joining that event for that specific run. So I basically flew over to Sweden, played GTA 5, went drinking in town, and then flew back the next morning. That's pretty crazy.
Baller.
Yeah.
Hashtag worth?
Yeah, actually, I think so, because that's a night I will never forget. But that's for another time.
Yeah, well, you could say the same about rape, but...
Yeah. Well, this was more positive.
Well, that's good. That is good.
Not much more positive, but more positive.
More.
Marginally.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's the scheduled topics. Let's do some interviewing.
Yeah.
Although Antistar has put his mark on this show already,
Yeah.
I'm sure we have some more SMK related questions.
Shall I just
Yeah,
mention the big, massive elephant in the room?
yeah.
When is 8080 Myth Plus?
Someday.
That's an asshole response.
No, the asshole response would have been never.
All right, true.
You're,
No, this,
you're both at 79, or is there something else?
No, he has 79 as the only SMK.
Oh, okay.
carries at something like I think between 50, 60.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, this is something I should really like to do someday. I haven't given it up. This is just a matter of time, and this requires a lot of patience and organization, because when I will start playing Rainbow for this goal, I will need really not to stop playing it until it's done, because this is something which I won't do in a couple of sessions. It will take dozens of hours, many hundreds, I don't know.
Yeah.
Perhaps I will stream it. Depends on the way I feel with my driving skill at that moment. But to be perfectly honest, the only time trial related goal I have for this year is hitting one world record wherever you is, just for this specific statistic, which is to have one single world record 11 years in a row, which is something that Carol actually never did. We both have a record with 10 consecutive years having a single world record. And so this is something I really need to do. And of course, I could try to combine this with the Rainbow adventure, but hitting this world record is so hard that I need to secure something, I won't say easier, but less hard to make sure I can reach this 11th consecutive year with a world record. And Rainbow All we call afterwards, because I don't think somebody is gonna get 80 Myth Plus before me.
No.
So I think I probably have all the time to do it. And this is something that is probably not gonna happen this year. Maybe next year. Who knows? I don't know.
I think your answer pretty much says it all, because you just said that going for the Rainbow Road 5-lap world record is something you find daunting, and that's 126.64. So you would need to have 126.62, and the Myth Plus requires 126.38. So I don't know what Sami was thinking, but that's absolutely bonkers.
I still think this is the hardest Myth Plus of all, which explains
by a nautical mile.
Yeah, yes. Which explains why I don't have it. And this is funny because this is the first Myth time I got this Reupload All 5-lap. I got my first myth time, the first of 80 there, and this is a track where I haven't evolved at all in 10 years. Because
but it's kind of funny in a way. Yeah, you have 79 out of 80 Myth Plus.
Yeah,
and your best track, one of your best tracks is Rainbow Road, and that's the one you're missing. So that says it all, right?
I think actually the problem is I almost never played NBT in that part of the game. I played a lot of NBT on the NTSC side because playing Rainbow Road and NTSC NBT is very, very fun.
Mm-hmm. It's less so on PAL, I agree.
Yeah, and I spent, I won't say wasted, but I spent so many hours on the non-NBT 5-lap record. I would have loved to be rewarded a bit more with a specific standard for that one, because this is the one I really felt like being the best at. But the PAL NBT one is something that I almost never experienced. So when I will do it, I will almost start from zero. My current PR actually is an NBT one, but I did it just I think this was just to secure the PAL-NBT run broad record once in my life. It probably lasted 1 or 2 days because of Sami, of course. And
it's always Sami.
Yeah, but I remembered this was more than 6 years ago, I think. I didn't find it hard to get into the 1:26:60s with NBT. I just, but I know that when you get into the 1:26:50s, after that it's almost impossible to improve anything. So I really think that if I do it someday, this is gonna be the last personal record I send on Super Mario Kart in my whole life. Because if I do it, this is gonna be really the end of everything. So I prefer to take time before doing it, just because I need to organize myself, because this is something that can this is a hunt that can last months, and at the moment I'm not focused on spending so much. I won't say daily time, but almost weekly time on Super Mario Kart. This will require me to play 1 or 2 hours almost every day to make sure I always keep the same rhythm. And I don't feel like doing it at the moment, but I know that I will do it someday, because I don't want to become just unable to do it and say, why the fuck didn't you do it earlier? So yeah, of course I will do it, but when is the only question.
Okay.
I hope this is not an asshole response.
No, it's a very detailed response. And I'm honestly looking forward to the moment that you will actually complete this goal, because we've been waiting for it for years, and I think you would be deserving this.
Zarkov has gone.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
He has an old man schedule, so he cannot go to bed too late because he needs to wake up early in the morning to work out and feed the poor and whatnot.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, but you're right. If hitting this final myth plus happens, this is going to be one of the most historical world records in the history of Super Mario Kart. I think even in the global history of Mario Kart, because it's hitting all the gold times on one single Mario Kart. I don't know if all the Mario Karts have this achievement once.
Most of them do. I don't know about all of them either. But
yeah, Super Mario Kart never had it, since we have that myth press thing, and I think all the time spent on JV2, Bowser Castle 2, and hard tracks like this.
MC2
and MC2 to get closer to that final 80th myth press time needs me to do it, because of course it's kind of funny to see me stuck at 79, but it would be really the most ridiculous thing of my career not to achieve it someday. So
that's being very hard on yourself, though, because that time requirement is pretty steep.
Indeed.
It is doable, though.
Of course it's doable.
Yeah, it is doable.
As long as the myth press time is written on the site, it's doable.
Yeah.
Well, unless Sami writes 1:24, of course.
Well,
therefore it wouldn't be doable at all.
No. So, do you have any questions, Sar?
I was going to ask about attending the CDM this year.
Yeah.
Are you, and what are your goals if you are going?
Well, my goal is to discuss and have fun. But no, I know that my current overall level is around being 7th or 8th. 7 is my. Of course, it's almost everyone's lucky number, because it's some kind of legendary number when it comes to luck. But 7 is really my favorite number, and I ranked 7 the 2 last years without practicing at all. I think actually 7 at CDM is my current level, and I want to hit top 7 at least, perhaps a bit more since guys like Gio or Howard are not attending. And I would like to get maybe some maybe final medal in my career, because this is something which you always enjoy, to be in the top 3 on one of the modes and get your medal in front of the crowd with the 2 other guys. This is a feeling that I had the chance to experience a couple times. I really love it, and I would like to do it for the first championship, which is not going to happen in France. Just to complete my experience of SMK, because I had a medal for French championships. I had a medal in the World Championships, so why not getting one in the World Championships when they are not held in France? So I would say top 7 and 1 medal, whatever it is, even if it's bronze in GP, I don't care.
Yeah, so my next question ties into that a little bit. Like, you talk about winning medals.
Yep.
It's going to be a little bit of another self-burn, but what does it feel like to win gold medal at time trial?
You asking this?
Because you won it once.
This is something that won't sound weird between us, because we are Mario Karters and we are big nerds who know this is important for us. But this is something I also told to a lot of people who are less involved in video games than we are. When this happened to me, for a few minutes, I really had the feeling that that was one of the most beautiful things that happened in my life. And at that exact moment of 2013, the best thing that happened in that year, and the best thing that had happened in the 4 previous years at that exact moment.
Wow.
You are just realizing that all you've done, all the work you've done, has been rewarded properly, just because you trained a lot, you practiced a lot, you wanted to be the best and show it to all the guys who also want to be the best at that precise moment. And yeah, you just feel you feel complete. You feel proud of yourself. You feel this is this is gonna be a bit stupid, but I would like to compare it to some kind of sex climax. Just because, wow, you've done it. This is awesome, and now you can rest a bit because you've done what you want to do. And
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, this is really a great moment. Especially because this year, I knew this was gonna be the moment or never, because I was on a very positive streak of world records. I just received the time trial #1 crown 2 weeks before, and I knew no current time trial champion from the player side had gotten the gold medal, and I'm still the only one who did it, actually.
Yeah, that's because I'm usually #1.
Yeah, this explains why nobody still did it afterwards. But well, I failed the two years just after. So, but yeah, this is a very rare moment, because when you realize it's happening, you also have to focus on the fact it can maybe never happen again, and things that may happen once in your life, you really have to enjoy them. You have to stay conscious of what's happening, and yeah, this is unique, and this is well, I hope you can feel this once in your career too.
So do you remember any specifics from that knockout stage, for example, or that day? Any specific races, or maybe even the final itself, for example?
I remember the top 16 matches, because there was Mario Circuit 1, and I knew I could show to some specific rivals like Sammy that I was on fire this day. And I know that my personal best record in championship conditions is a top 16 match on Mario Circuit 1. because I drove something like very, very low 59, 12 or 16.
That's very, very good for one try. Yes.
Yeah, and this was the championship record at that moment, because Sammy did the one and only 58, probably 2 or 3 years after. But this was the championship record, and I knew doing this in front of Sammy and everyone else was my personal way to say, this is my year, guys. Don't even try. And the exact moment that started everything for me was the Ghost Valley 1 platform jump in the group stage. Because of course, missing this one in an entire group stage, it's not it's no big deal if you miss it, because if you get into the top 10, everyone else, you won't miss the qualification. But this was something I wanted to do to get confident with myself, to make sure nothing could happen to me that day. And when I made it, I remember I yelled very, very loud in the room, because that meant a lot to me. That meant that I could feel some kind of invincible that day. Beginning of my group stage was a bit average. This is why I only finished something like 4th or 5th, and but the end was really, really crazy. If I'm correct, I drove something like 6 or 7 number 1 times in the 10 last races. And I also remember the semi-finals, which were a bit awkward at the beginning, because the tracks were Ghost Valley 2 and Choco Island 1, and I remember I was 3rd after Ghost Valley 2, because Neo and Gachan performed very, very, very strong, and this is one of my weakest tracks in one try. Sammy fell into the hole, and this was deserved. But when I saw that the fight was going to be between Neo, Gachan, and me on Choco Island 1 with NBT, I told myself, just drive your best, you will beat Gachan, because Gachan was not really as good as us on Choco Island 1 and BT. And indeed, Neo and I made the two best time at that moment. And of course, I remember the entire final, because this is probably the moment of my entire Mario Kart life and my entire gamer life where I was the most concentrated ever, because I had not to fail the Zoom Star, of course, but I was driving just like a machine for tracks and tracks. That when the Zoom Start was okay, I just told myself, just do your thing, and it's gonna work, because I knew that year that was the only moment I felt stronger than anyone. This is something I never felt again. Even 1 year after, when I was supposed to be stronger than anyone in time trial, I didn't feel that strong. Perhaps because my personal life was different and was much worse than it was back in 2013. But this is that kind of moment where you just, and you can't really explain it. You just feel invincible. You just feel impossible to beat. And if you do your job, you will do it just better than everyone else. And this is what happened. So that's cool.
Now, you were talking about some crazy top performances during the latter half of your one try tournament that day, and you are certainly not a risk-averse player, to put it mildly. Like, how many times have you done the platform jump at Ghost Valley 1, for example, at CDMs?
Well, basically, I try it every year if it's in the group stage.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I know I've done it and succeeded 3 times, but of course, and well, you like to be tortured in your questions because you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Of course, the best of all was the 3rd place match 1 year after, and this is a bronze medal that had a very, very specific taste for me, because this was a very, very bad year in terms of personal feelings and situation. And the SNK Championship and especially that little final is something like I very often regard as the only really good moment of that year. So I needed to find some kind of source of hope to make sure things would be better in my life afterwards. And at that precise moment, I told myself, well, you were used to be a lucky person in the past. So if your luck hasn't completely given up on you, this is the moment you can show it to yourself. This is the exact moment you can see if you're still a lucky person or not. And I think having a final against a person like you, who's supposed to be a very unlucky person, at that moment with Ghost Valley 1,
supposed
was,
to be,
was the perfect moment to see if my luck had completely abandoned me or not. And
that's the real test, isn't it?
you just cannot imagine how strong the liberation was within myself at that exact moment when I landed on the platform and saw you crashed afterwards, because I just
So we both went for it at the end of lap 5.
Yeah, definitely. I just say to myself, okay, it's not over. You can still have hope. And this is stupid because this is just on the SMK, but it meant a lot to me at that moment. And yeah, the Ghost Valley 1 platform is something I like to do in one try, just because I have the feeling this is not the hardest thing to do in one try. According to me, Ghost Valley 2 platform is much harder.
Oh yeah, it's not
for
worth
example, the Vanilla Lake 2 island jumps are harder too, I think.
Maybe.
But yeah, this is something I feel comfortable with. So I like to do it, and I have a pretty good ratio in the championship. So
this year again, yeah?
Of course. Always.
You want to ask something too, Sarah?
I was just going to ask, since you've sort of stopped SMK, am I right?
Mm.
What have you moved on to, or are you competitive in any other game?
Well, yeah, I can say that I've kind of stopped SMK for 3 years now, I think. But I don't want to be competitive on other games. Video games are I cannot even say that's an important part of my life. Video games are my fucking life. I work in the video game industry. I collect video games. My girlfriend is also a video game collector, and she really loves it. So.
And your mother, let's not forget.
My mother also loves video games, or my friends, of course.
You're born from video games.
At some moment, I felt like there would be some kind of overdose if I would play video games competitively, because this is something I really want to still see as a hobby, something I want to do for my personal pleasure, just to enjoy myself. And when I was competitive in Super Mario Kart, my life was different. I was not working in this universe. I was playing other games too. I was talking a lot about it with a lot of people, but video games didn't have the same importance in my daily life than they have today. And at some moment, when you have the feeling that you can be some kind of disgusted from something as beautiful as video games are, you have to say stop to a couple of things. So this is why I decided to retire from the Super Mario Kart Association presidents. This is why I also decided to play much less Super Mario Kart competitively, and focus on enjoying the games and writing about them, attending shows to discuss on this. And of course, compete on SMK at least once a year, because CDM is something I just can't miss.
Amen.
Yeah, CDM is really part of my life. I've met so many great friends thanks to that event. It's not just about the medals I got or the experience I got for my personal from personal skills and mental and physical skills. It's also about all the people or the social experience around it. This is something I don't want to miss, and this is something I still want to attend every year. But I still want to be a bit competitive because I know I've been a champion once. I know I'm regarded by the community as one of the 10 best players on this game.
Easily,
and I don't want to be ridiculous. I know that even with very few training, I can do something correct. Of course, I attend this thing to be competitive once, and being competitive in video games in 1 or 2 weeks in a year is not it's not really a big deal.
It also makes it fun, right?
Yeah, indeed.
In a way, if you don't put too much pressure on yourself,
indeed,
it does make it more fun.
Oh yeah, I get that.
So you're also going to CDM with another thing in mind, which is the possible.
Yep.
Well, I'll let you tell it actually, because I think you know what I was referring to.
Yeah, of course, because we have a specific project, which is to broadcast the CDM on the French TV. Because I work in a very, very big media structure in Paris, which hosts the biggest video games website in France and in Europe, which I work for. One of the biggest movies website too. And the gaming structure inside of it is very, very important. And it does a lot about esports, and there is a specific esport TV channel that was created in the beginning of the year. So this is a project we have we had discussed a couple of weeks ago with the guy who created this esport channel. We wanted to show the Super Mario Kart Championship. Perhaps not live, but at least a couple matches and analysis and interviews to just to show how it works, just to show something different from regular esports competitions. Because of course, when you think esports nowadays, you think about League of Legends, about Call of Duty, about Clash Royale, about Hearthstone, FIFA, etc. But you don't think at all about Mario Kart. And especially not about Super Mario Kart and retro gaming, because esports is not made of old stuff, apart from Street Fighter at the Evo scene, because from time to time they play arcade Street Fighter 2. If I'm correct.
Street Fighter is an exception to that rule. That's true.
It's a complete exception.
Smash Bros to some extent as well.
True. And so Super Mario Kart is can be a very, very different experience and a very different thing to be shown on this TV. Who wants to display very, very different types of gaming? And since our big gaming structure has a TV channel and has an ex-association president and world record holder inside of its walls, the opportunity was too big to be missed out. So we decided to not to broadcast the CDM live, because this is going to be a bit short to sort things out in time, and we don't know if this is going to work or not. Mm-hmm. But I will go to CDM with a hard drive to get absolutely all the CDM footage from the live stream. And make a selection of matches. I will have a specific microphone from the esport channel to make some interviews of the players after the matches. And when I'm back to France, we will make 1 or 2 complete shows, or something like 52 minutes, I think, showing the Super Mario Kart Championship matches, commentated by myself, explaining to all those people who don't know Super Mario Kart and the specific scene, how it works, who is playing on screen, what are they doing, which is which are the players' background, etc., and also displaying the interviews. Of course, French players and perhaps English-speaking players with French subtitles. This is not something which is completely 100% sure at all, but this is very, very likely going to happen.
But basically, you're making a television show about the CDM, which is going to be broadcasted on nationwide TV.
Basically, this is it, because this TV is named ES1 for eSport 1, of course. It's available on almost all the internet TV boxes in France. And well, this is something. This is some kind of opportunity we never had in the past, because
I think it's really great. It's a great project.
All we had in the past was specific documentary shows with interviews of players telling what they do, showing the techniques, stuff like that. But showing the CDM exactly the way it is, it's something that's absolutely never happened on TV before. So yeah, this is gonna be completely new, and this is gonna be on a dedicated esports channel. So this is actually the good place to do it. And this is a very exciting project. I hope we can make it, and I also hope the people who will watch it will like it enough to make perhaps us broadcast the entire thing live on 2019.
Excellent.
Oh,
excellent.
Wow. So that's actually an option then in the future?
Sorry?
To broadcast it live is something you intend to make happen at some point?
I wish. This is really something I would like to do. CDM is something I've been always been very, very deeply in, and my projects and goals about CDM have changed a lot as years were going by, because at first I just wanted to make it a worldwide championship with the Super Mario Kart stars from all around the planet, which is something that happened. Then I wanted to have it live streamed. It happened. We wanted to make it sure to have 50 players from all across Europe and the world every year. It happened. So now the goal is to make the most people possible watch it first, afterwards to discover the thing. And the main goal is, of course, to make it to have it broadcasted live someday, and just not on Twitch with a couple of hundred or perhaps 1,000 viewers. I think we can maybe dream about something bigger once, and this championship has always worked. A lot of people thought it would die in the middle of the decade, and it's still there. It's still very strong. If it's even moving to another country, and we still have 50 people. So this is something that really, really can evolve, and I think this is the next step, to have it on TV.
Yeah, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if the CDM would still be going in 2018, I would have hesitated to answer. I would have probably hoped that it would, but I wouldn't be sure of it.
Exactly the same. I would have thought most of us would be probably in our 30s and a lot of other occupations, and
exactly
that part did happen.
Yeah, actually, this one is not hard to predict. Actually,
I did get older.
right.
But this is not something I thought that would be so cool, because we had 35 people 10 years ago, and we would probably have been very, very happy to get as many people as we had 10 years ago, but we have much more than we had. And this is really the craziest thing. We have much, much, much more people than we had to do when we thought SMK was at its peak. And this is probably where it shows this is a great event, and why it's gonna continue all across the years.
Yeah, so I think what you talked to earlier, like how you appreciate CDM, is something that is you typically get that kind of answer from the hardcore crowd. Like they are coming back for people they met, the experience they have. I think that's testament to the event.
Yeah, and we have something very, very strong this year, because I think you remember when I visited you in January to discover the sports arena, we had both you and me our personal doubts of about the number of regular players that would probably not make it because it's in the Netherlands, because it's more expensive, and we were fucking wrong on that, because people with a very average or weak level, they still come to a championship that costs twice the regular price, which is in another country, which is in an esports arena. They still come. This is the power of SMK.
Yeah,
really.
So it's kind of puts a responsibility, I feel, on my shoulders as well.
Of course.
For the next one, that I don't want to screw up this chain,
Wow.
link in the chain.
No, I don't think you guys are gonna screw up anything. I think you're gonna do it well.
I hope so.
You've been part of this community for probably 15 years. The supermarket, the championship community for 10 years. You know how this works. You've experienced it very close to the organizing team every year, and no. I really don't see how this could be a worse CDM than any other Earth. This is really probably going to be a great success, and I can't wait to be there. This is really something I'm expecting to attend, and much more than 2 years ago, for example.
First one outside of France, so it's going to be exciting one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah, and taking the train for 2 hours and a half for a foreign country to play SMK with my buddies and rivals is something that I've never done before. So this is really exciting. And
I think Drew summed it up in a speech once. That basically there are no assholes in the SMK CDM community, and that's something that is extremely rare in any gathering of people that are like 50-fold or whatever. So he nailed it.
This is a very, very unique event, and I think the fact we can have it on TV can show to a much larger crowd what is CDM and why this is such a unique event in the gaming universe, because I don't think there are video game championships like this in Europe and perhaps even in the world. There are a lot of retro gaming contests. There are a lot of events during a whole weekend, but CDM, I don't see anything that could look like CDM actually.
I have yet to find another event like it as well.
And I don't even see a game which would get an event which would like CDM.
No, yeah, exactly. It's a special type of game that can facilitate an event like this. Like you need like a more mature crowd.
SMK is really, very special and very unique.
So I think we've sung our praises enough about CDM for the next 10 years in this last hour.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say much of why we started this Carthritis show. I want to say backup, but it's a new show. But it is to put sort of an atmosphere, or I'm reluctant to say hype, around CDM, just leading up to CDM. That's why we started now, at least. And I gotta say, this very long talk about CDM has very much put it into context in new ways for me, even. The way you talk about it, Antistar, is deep, drenched in knowledge.
CDM has been a bit like my baby, actually. So.
I think you are going to be hard to surpass as the most passionate guest we ever had on the show.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I'm always passionate when I want to talk about things I really like or want to testify about.
Don't change that.
No, that's great.
This is never gonna change. Just like I said, if you guys could read French, you could read my video game reviews on the site and see the passionate way I talk about some of the games I played and loved. This is a part of me when something is important to me, when something means a lot to me, when I liked or loved something. I want to share the experience with the people. I want to say why I loved it. I want to say why this changed my life, or I don't want to keep it for myself. And when it comes to CDM, why keeping for yourself something that you actually share with the others?
So you're a practicing preacher, missionary?
I'm Pastor. I am Pastor John A.G. Told you.
This is the alien community all over again, Sargon.
All right. Share the love. I don't know.
Yeah. The CDM rapture is coming soon.
Yeah, why not? I'm way overdue for a rapture. Why not? Anyway, I would like to thank you a lot for coming on, Antistar. It's been great having you talk about games this passionately. I was caught off guard, I gotta say.
Well, thanks a lot for inviting me too. This was a new experience for me because this was I've been part of several podcasts in France, but this was my first time in English, so this was a really good experience.
All right, yeah, it's pretty common for French people to stick to French, as I've learned from the previous CDMs. So, but well done on the English, no problem at all.
Thank you. Well, it's thanks to guys like Carol that I've practiced my English all those years long. I used to have a good English level before CDM, but not. I didn't have many opportunities to practice the oral thing actually to talk every day, and so if my English is good, I think Carol has it's a good reason for that.
Yeah, let me complete the circle jerk there, because Carol is probably the reason why. Carol is probably the reason why I've kept up my English at times as well.
Oh, you guys.
Can I ask a question to Carol? Because Carol asked a lot of questions to me, but I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What would you do if you get a time trial gold medal? At the exact moment you get it, what is gonna happen?
Rapture.
Because you've probably no, because you've probably thought about that moment a lot of times in your life.
Yeah,
right?
but I've never thought about how I would react. To be honest,
so
it seems so surreal.
Yeah.
I
think I would call my mom. No.
Honestly, I think you're
it
gonna be smiling.
It deserves an honest answer because it's a cool question, but I actually don't know. It's the honest to God truth.
I think you're gonna smile a lot, and at the exact moment, Patrick is gonna put this medal around your neck. You're gonna be interrupted by Rumby attack.
Actually, I think the feelings you've described, like feeling it as a major sense of accomplishment and just being done for the day, like, okay, this event can no longer go wrong, whatever happens. I think I will definitely have those kind of feelings. Yeah. So hopefully that'll happen.
And as told before, I really wish you can live this once.
Maybe the home advantage will finally pull me through.
But it will destroy the meme.
Well, we'll see about that.
True.
All right. Well, I think that's good, guys. We're just gonna call it a wrap, and good luck in all your endeavors. Until next time.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.